the idea is to get government to understand. Plus, they're going to come here and invest $2.3 million across a creek because Jotela is not really a river.
It's not Rio Dulce.
Yeah, exactly. So while we want to know how will you spend $2.3 million across a creek without making a bridge, a temporary bridge at least, for other people to pass. Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, those are the things that we are concerned about, and that's why, you know, I'm glad that you guys showed up, so at least so we could have a discussion on this, so that when they have their meeting tomorrow, we could present that to them.
Right. And also, where we live on the Joe Taylor Creek Road, it's right up against the bridge. Yeah. So I'm assuming the entrance of that road will be a part of the construction site. And have they taken us into consideration at all of how we're going to get in and out of our house?
You live on the road that Jack Nightingale lives on. And when I spoke to Mr. Tristan Usher the other day, he told me that he had met with Mr. Nightingale once and was supposed to meet with him again, and also with Mr. Garba, because I had brought up the concerns there'd be no place to dock boats, and then what if people can't get in and out of their house? Right, but look at the bridge that's there.
There's a lot of people that live back that, not just them. You know,
I mean, if you want a higher bridge because you want to bring boats through, how high does it have to be? Because like I said, there's nowhere to go. Once you get to a certain point, you have to use a kayak to go any further. There's no scenic route. Tour guides don't go up that river to look at Maya ruins or anything else. There are people that live up that river that have boats. How are they going to access the sea during that time that those pilings are putting in, or whatever they're going to be putting in there? And then where are this gentleman here and other people going to launch their boats from in the meantime? They're going to need a boat launch in town, and they're going to need one out here as well. And then they said there's going to be a pedestrian bridge, but that won't go until after the bridge is removed. So there'll be a period of time that children have to ride their bikes 10 miles to school and 10 miles from school. And then what about a police emergency, an ambulance emergency, a fire emergency? What about something as basic as trash removal? They're not going to come here once a week anymore because it takes 2 trips to come to Hopeville to deal with our garbage. Mm-hmm. They're not going to come twice a week to go all the way around and do that, right? So, I mean, there's many things that were not taken into consideration because the decision was made without input from the people that's going to be affected. So if you want to do something in a community, you should talk to the people. How often do you go over the bridge? How often do you come back?
Nothing like that was done. Nothing.
Yeah.
And I did a survey, and I got 100 people to respond to that survey. And out of that survey, I got some key information. 90% of the people want a new bridge, but 85% would like some meaningful consultation. I also got the fact that it's going to cost the average person at least $10 a day additional in fuel. To be able, at least $10 a day. That's the minimum.
Minimum.
Correct.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Some of them were as many as $20 a day
or
$25 a day to increase in fuel. The other one was that 70% will be negatively affected or inconvenienced. Replies came from 22% were from Punta Gorda, 17% was from Hopeville, 11% was from Indianville, 6% was from Cattle Landing, 4% was from Forest Home. 60% say we'll add over an hour of travel time to the day. That $10 a day is $70 a week times a year. That's $3,500 a year per person in gas. So while people want to see progress, we also would like to see our voices and our concerns be met. And the man said that not everybody will be happy. And we're not saying everybody has to be happy, but you want to minimize the inconvenience to a community when it comes to safety, such as fire, police, and ambulance, when it comes to children having to ride bikes. And what about Cerro Road? It was supposed to be paved before this took place. Now it's going to be rocked. And then what about lights? I said, you put a note there at the bottom of your memo that said, be careful. You have large sections of that road that are dark. It's not going to be paved, there'll be no lights. People will be driving 2 ways on that road at that time of night and it'll be dark. That's not safe. And then when you do put your pedestrian bridge and bicycle bridge, what will prevent motorcycles from going over that at the same time that pedestrians are walking on it or bicycles are walking on it? There's just so many unanswered questions. The first memo came out said 6 months. Then the next memo said 15 months. And they said that was a mistake. The 6 months referred to Indianville. The 15 months is the bridge.
What was the Indianville?
It's Indianville they're doing the culverts and the that's going to take 6 months. But when has the government ever, or any government in any community ever been on time and or under budget.
Yeah.
We know that 15 months means 25 months or 30 months. The coastal road took 2 extra years. The airport road took an extra year. The west side highway, that was done, Western Highway was done a little bit over schedule, but then it collapsed 3 months later. So I mean, to say that they're gonna be done in less than 15 months, that's not feasible. Once they say 15, you know it's more than that.
Everything ties in. When I did the survey at 360, everything ties in. You see the road he talked about that goes down to the creek? It ties with the one on the other side. It's 66 feet wide. Everything you do ties in. Fulfill ties in. You understand? Every survey ties into the other. Right? So, to put a bridge across Joe Taylor Creek, on the other side, they have 66 feet wide, they have 40 feet wide, and they have 88 feet wide. That ties into Hopeville. It ties into Elridge.
yeah.
It ties into St. Vincent.
You're saying right where the bridge is now,
Yes,
you have
our
nothing to do.
survey ties in.
Here the Oxford Bridge, they built another
She
bridge
was just sitting
in
there,
Kai,
so it's not too bad.
right? When they did the one in Gangriga, they built another temporary bridge there, which has now become permanent, right? So why is it only in PG that they just come and say, oh, you got to go around 10 miles? Doesn't matter if it's school children, if it's doctors, or it's nurses, or medical emergencies, ambulance.
Gentleman here, he say if the people are here, the law is specific on that. For public acquiring of land, you consult the owner in good faith, you offer him, you ask
Fair
him how much he
market
wants.
value.
If he wants too much, then you give him the market value.
Fair market value.
Fair market value.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. Government, the people come before one individual.
Yes.